Hey guys, welcome to the video. So today we are going to be chatting all about Groove Cruise 2024's new lineup drop. It is finally here, fam. And when I tell you, this is probably the most excited and highly anticipated I've felt about a lineup in a really long time. I'm going on my first Groove Cruise next January in 2024. It is also the 20th anniversary sailing, which is a huge deal. Super excited to be a part of it. My podcast, Rave Culture Cast, is an affiliate this year, and we've got some really cool things that are going to be going on board for you, so stay tuned on all of that. But today's video is really just a reaction, sharing my excitement with you, and then we're going to dive into the lineup and go over some recommendations, and I'm going to talk a little bit about genres present here. So if you guys are going as well, and there are names you don't recognize, I got you. We're going to go over it today. So with all that being said, let's dive into today's video. Before we get into the lineup, I just wanted to highlight a couple reasons of why I'm this excited for this lineup, because there is something special about Groove Cruise in general. Again, this is my first cruise ship festival. This is my first Groove Cruise. I've heard nothing but incredible things about the community and the team, and already just from working with everybody, being an affiliate for 2024 and being in the Facebook groups and just having friends who have done Groove Cruise before, can confirm it's been an amazing energy before even going on. But why I'm excited for this is a couple things. One, it's a way more intimate setting. So for a lot of these sets, it's who's on the cruise. You're there, that's it. Some of the stages are really small. Some of them are in interior theaters on the cruise. Some are on the top decks with insane views of the water. It's just a beautiful setting. It's super intimate. I feel like we're gonna get some really special sets out of it. So that's one reason I'm excited. Number two, you get multiple sets from a lot of these artists because they're also on the cruise with you. A lot of them play during the day, then they play a night set, then they may play a back-to-back or a surprise pop-up set. So you get to see a lot of these artists, which is really cool. Trance. Trance is the next reason I'm excited. I love trance. I don't listen to it all the time, and I very rarely get to see it in person. So I'm super excited that trance is a huge focus for Groove Cruise, and there's so much of it on the ship. So I'm very excited to finally get some really good trance sets in here. There's also some incredible house acts that I'll get into. A lot of names that I was really excited to see this year. So as a house head, I'm very pumped about the lineup here. And then I would also say the special hosted parties and events at the bottom of the lineup, we'll talk about it. There's some really cool experiences that happen on board. And again, the artists are just hanging out. So you have the opportunity to meet some of these artists. They're just enjoying themselves. They're in the crowd, bopping along to these sets as well. So it's just a really cool atmosphere that I'm looking forward to. So with all that being said, I hope you can feel my excitement for GC 2024, very pumped about it. So let's dive into the lineup and the announcement here. So starting with the headliners, we have three main headliners. So it's Diplo, Tiesto, and John Summit, which is pretty wild to see John Summit up there because obviously Tiesto and Diplo have been in the game for a very long time. So good on John Summit for getting up into that top spot. But Diplo presents Higher Ground. Why I'm excited about this is his really house heavy label, and a lot of his music that I enjoy is from his Higher Ground releases. I think I saw him last summer doing this at the Brooklyn Mirage. It was a whole Higher Ground takeover there, and it was one of my favorite sets I've seen by him. So very excited for that. I think it's gonna be very groovy, and I'm excited to see his sets. Then Tiesto doing a private beach party. The beach parties themselves already look incredible. Last year's looked amazing. So being on a beach, again, in an intimate setting with the water and the sun and just super vibey. I'm just excited to see what Tiesto does because obviously we all know him. He's a huge household name. But again, to take him out of a massive festival crowd with 100,000 people and to put him in the Groove Cruise audience with a smaller group of people, I'm just excited to see what he does because I feel he'll be able to explore and do things that maybe he wouldn't normally do for a major festival audience. So I'm excited that they got Tiesto. I think that will be really fun. And then John Summit, obviously they had been dropping teasers, so I kind of knew John Summit was going to be on here, but he is also going to have his label Off the Grid with a couple artists playing under that. He's one of my favorite artists. I absolutely love his music. He is so much fun to see live, you guys. And what's cool about him is I believe he played Groove Cruise last year. I think it was the Orlando sailing. And just from watching my friends' vlogs, like he knows how to have a good time. I think he'll be fun during day sets. I think he'll go super like darker, heavier techno sounds at night. Like it's a different set every time you see John Summit. So he's going to be a blast. So I'm pretty happy with the headliners overall, I would say. Now getting into kind of like the top tier artists up here. So first off, we have Ali and Fila. So this is our first trance act on the lineup, representing Future Sounds of Egypt. I believe I have seen Ali and Fila. I can't remember. It's been a very, very long time, but overall, again, very excited to see trance on here. They're a big, big name, so that one's going to be super exciting. Definitely going to make a point to go see them. And then we get into our melodic bass. So you have a couple melodic bass and dubstep artists, a lot of Ophelia fam represented here. So for Amity, he's going to fall under that category. He has a lot of tracks with like Seven Lions, Wooly, Trifecta. So if you guys are into that kind of music, he'll be a good one to see. Anthony Atala is one of the like Groove Cruise resident artists, like has been in the game for a very, very long time, is always on Groove Cruise. And he is a house artist and his label is called Incorrect. So you guys will see that as one of the label takeovers at the bottom. So I haven't seen him before and I will make a point to see him. Biscuits is one of the names I was very excited to see on here. Biscuits is one of my favorite tech house artists. Absolutely incredible live. His EDC Vegas set was fucking awesome. I loved it. Haven't been able to see him since then, so Biscuits is a big one if you guys are into tech house. Blastoise is a fucking awesome one on here too for psytrance, like super heavy psytrance drops. Like that one's gonna be super high energy, kind of like in your face. Very excited about it again as a Seven Lions fan. Seven Lions has some tracks with Blastoise, so super pumped to see that one on here too. Boris represents Transmit Recordings. He is a house artist from New York, kind of has like that clubby sound, like house underground club sound. I'm not as familiar with him, but definitely excited for that one. Then we have Brennan Gray on here. Brennan Gray is going to be our first techno artist on this lineup. So again, you have a lot of house, trance, some techno, and then some like melodic bass and dubstep. But yeah, Brennan Gray is going to be a good one for you if you're into techno. Then we have Cosmalia on here, who I believe is a producer and a vocalist, also in more of like the bass heavy house side of things, a little bit of minimal as well. She's had some releases on Night Bass Recordings, Techni Records, and In Rotation, so a lot of like really well-known labels. So I'm excited to go see her. Then we have Coco Drills. This is another like Groove Cruise staple that every single person would recognize, and I still haven't seen them, obviously, with it being my first Groove Cruise. So super awesome house artists. They've been known to play some marathon sets that are like 10 plus hours long. And I know my friend Jess, who goes by Living by the F Word, I'll talk about her a little bit more in a second, but she absolutely loves Coco Drills, so I've heard amazing things about them. Then we have Craig Connolly on here, huge name for trance music. Deeper Purpose, another one that when I saw his name, I was like, yes, like another incredible tech house artist who is awesome. I love his music and he's been putting out bangers lately. So Deeper Purpose is a big one for me. Deepfake are incredible. It's a duo. They are like completely anonymous. They're from Detroit. Absolutely insane, like heavy techno artists, and they're a Groove Cruise resident as well now at this point. They do all different things on the ship as well. They do like their own hosted activities. They play a lot of like pop-up sets and like other just crazy interactive experiences. So there's a lot that's going to come out of Deepfake, and I got to interview them at ARC this past year, and it was a really fun interview that we did with like these paddles, so that because they don't speak so they had to use paddles to like answer in the interview. So definitely check that out. Disco Lines is on here. Disco Lines I feel like is popping off in the last year. He's a house artist. He does like a lot of remixes, kind of like more EDM centric, but I've heard he's fun live, so we'll check him out. Factor B is another Future Sounds of Egypt artist. So again, trance if you guys are into that. Then we have Gabriel and Dresden on here, which is a huge name for Groove Cruise to get. Absolute legends in the trance world. And they've been around forever. They really, really pushed the limit too during COVID with some incredible live streams. So I'm excited to finally see Gabriel and Dresden. Then my girls Jem and Tori are on here. I absolutely love them as people. They're wonderful human beings, but they've been incredible. They've been releasing a lot of new music, more so in like the house realm, a little bit of melodic kind of house, but then they have some like more upbeat house as well, and they're absolutely amazing. They're part of the Ophelia fam too. Then we have Haylene. I feel like Haylene is also a Groove Cruise staple. She's a very well-known vocalist, has worked with major artists like Illenium and Seven Lions, Armin van Buuren before, so she's super incredible. I actually haven't seen her before, so I'm excited to go check her out so I can see her singing live and playing live. Then we have Joel Corey. I got to interview Joel at EDC Las Vegas, and he was so sweet. He is a big well-known name. I would say more on like the mainstream side. Like a lot of his hits are like on the radio. They're very big, like feel good, just like poppy kind of EDM. I don't know. I love it. I listen to Joel Corey a lot, actually, like head and heart and bed. Like, I don't know. It's just very feel good, like upbeat music. So I'm actually pumped to see him on here. Joshua is also going to fall under that like really incredible tech house category. He's had some awesome tracks. So Joshua followed by Kyle Walker as well. So like my best way of thinking about it is putting like Biscuits, Deeper Purpose, Joshua, Kyle Walker, Max Styler, Vanessa, like Ranger Trucco, all of those guys and girls kind of fit under that like fire tech house category. So if that is your jam, all of those artists I just mentioned, like those are all on my must-see list. So Kyle Walker is fantastic as well. Gene Farris is an absolute fucking legend. Incredible Chicago house artist. He's also a Groove Cruise staple. He'll probably play a ton of different sets. He also does a lot of like the marathon sets. So that's going to be pretty insane to see. So I definitely want to catch a couple of his sets. Lily Palmer, I feel like is a big name for Groove Cruise to get. She is a massive techno artist. So I would say out of like all the techno on here, she's the one that I'm like most excited for because I haven't seen her yet and she's just like on the absolute come up. So Lily Palmer for techno, incredible. Then we got my girl LPGOB on here. Very excited to see her return to Groove Cruise as well. She's just got the most beautiful vibes and energy. She plays piano live. It's a lot of like uplifting, soulful house music. So I feel like LP would be good for like a sunset set, like super vibey and feel good, or like even at the sunrise. So yeah, excited to see her on here. Marie Vaughn, again, heavier driving techno. So that's also in the techno category if that is your jam. Marcus Schultz also has played Groove Cruise, I believe, a couple times, and he's one of the biggest trance names on here as well. So I'm actually super excited to see him again. I feel like between Ali and Fila, Craig Connolly, Marcus Schultz, Gabriel and Dresden, like they've got some really, really big trance acts on this lineup. Then we have Max Lowe, who was actually a new discovery for me on this lineup. I hadn't heard of them before, but they're a house music duo, and I actually really liked the music that I checked out on Spotify so far, so I'm excited to see those ladies. Then Max Styler, again, super excited for this artist. He was on my radar in 2022. His track Resist was one of my favorite songs of last year. Again, absolutely incredible tech house artist. Haven't seen him yet. Gonna make a point to see him. Then we have Midas. Midas is a big name in the melodic and future bass world, very big in the Ophelia fam. So again, if you're a Seven Lions, Trifecta, Wooly fan, I think you'll really enjoy Midas, and he's super fun live. I've seen him a couple times, so that was a big one. Then we have Nifra. Nifra is another major trance act that I've seen her name around a lot. Haven't seen her yet, but excited to go check her out. Then we have Pig and Dan. Pig and Dan is a super interesting act on here. They're a little bit more on the like techno minimal side of things, or even like that kind of like melodic techno sound, but I feel like that will be really nice in this mix. Ranger Trucko, again, more of that like upbeat tech/bass house. That one will be really fun. San Pacho is more on like the Latin house kind of category of things, so I feel like that will be super vibey. And then we have So Tough and So Cute, which is Gigi McGree and Miha's side project that they do together. Super fucking fun. I saw them do it at Ultra, and it was like, you don't know what you're gonna get. It's very eclectic. They kind of like threw in some like throwback tracks, like a little bit of rock and roll and like punk in it, and then like, you know, some heavier bass as well. But I don't know, it was just like really fun. They were having a great time up there together. So that's their like side project that they do together. And then we have Speaker Honey on here, who I feel like is one of the artists to watch. Like, definitely have your eye on her. She's more on the techno side / progressive side of things. So if you guys like Black Gummy, even maybe Dead Mouse or IO, I would say you would definitely enjoy seeing Speaker Honey. So I want to go see her for the first time. And then my last two, we have Trifecta, again, another Groove Cruise staple, I would say at this point, melodic bass / dubstep artist, probably one of my favorite Ophelia artists, I would say. I really love his music, so I'm excited to finally see him. And then Vanessa, rounding out things. She's done a lot of releases with Dirty Bird Records. She's an incredible house / tech house artist. Always have a great time at her sets, so pumped to see her here rounding out the whole top tier of the lineup. Okay, guys, I know I went over a lot. Since there's so many more names here, I'm just going to briefly touch on the undercard. A lot of the names I do not recognize, so I'm still doing my research on them. So again, Groove Cruise veterans, this is where I invite you to chime in the comments, because I know a lot of these names that I do recognize, these are like the Groove Cruise staple resident artists who have been with the like Groove Cruise gang for years, play almost every ship. So I know there's like a couple names here I just want to quickly point out to you, but I want to mention my friend Jess, who goes by Living by the F Word. She is like my #1 Groove Cruise resource. She has gone on 10 Groove Cruises. She has amazing vlogs up on her channel, tons of tips and information and guides. So I'm going to plug all of her information down below. She's doing, of course, her own lineup review at some point. So I'm going to defer to her for more of like the in-depth knowledge on these artists. So I don't want to like misspeak since I haven't been yet. So the names I will say that stood out to me, first and foremost would be Adam Scott. Adam Scott is more on the trance side of things. I've seen him a bunch of times on our Groove Cruise affiliate meetings because he's obviously involved with the team and the planning of this lineup as well. So I'm excited to see Adam Scott. And then I would say Doc Brown would be the next one. Doc Brown played a lot of live stream sets during COVID. So I actually like did watch a lot of him through there. That's kind of how I found him. And then again, through my friend Jess. He's like a staple artist as well. So he'll be a fun one to go see. Drums of the Sun, I saw in Jess's vlogs. It's like literally a live drum setup that they're playing with a DJ. So that looked like a fun experience just to go pop over and see. Then we have my friend Kess, my friend Ken, who goes by Kess. I'm so excited to see his name on here. One of my good friends, Shannon, who I've just met through the festival scene and was my personal trainer for a while. This is her husband, and he's been absolutely killing it. He's had some amazing releases with the support of Neon Owl, and he's more on like, I would probably say like melodic house / trance side of things, but he's absolutely incredible. So definitely go see Kess. Keith Christopher was another Groove Cruise name and like staple resident artist that was on here. Who else? Lucio was an artist I was super excited to see in the undercard. Also on like the melodic house / trance side of things, is part of the Anjuna Beats fam. So if you guys like Anjuna, I would recommend seeing Lucio. And then to wrap things up, I would also recommend Rico and Miela is another like Groove Cruise staple, and I actually got to meet one of them at a Gem and Torre show in the city, so I'm super excited to like support them and go see them live for the first time. Scotty Boy is also a Groove Cruise like resident staple artist as well, so yeah, there's a lot. Nikita Page is a good one, like a lot of amazing artists on here in the undercard. I'm excited to dive into this more. Then quickly, the hosted stages. So these are all of the different labels that are doing takeovers. We have Abyss, Carnival, Cold Harbor, Embark, Femme House, Future Sound of Egypt, which I mentioned already, Higher Ground, Incorrect, Off the Grid, Reborn, Rising Tides, Sirens, Echo, and Spanig. So obviously Femme House is LPGOB's label. Then we have Future Sound of Egypt, all of the trance artists. Higher Ground is Diplo. Incorrect was Anthony Atala. Off the Grid is John Summit's label. And those are the main ones that I recognize. And then in the hosted parties and experiences, like this is where you like get into the details of like what sets a cruise ship festival apart from a regular festival. Like you get to have all these experiences on board, which is so fun. So Deep House Brunch, like yes, sign me up for that. That sounds amazing. Inner Compass sounds cool. Sundown sounds beautiful. Taking Back Emo, like absolutely yes, sign me up. We have trance, we have Unlearned Records. That's going to be a big one. I don't know. Everything just sounds really, really fun. So I'm excited to experience all these things. And then on top of these hosted experiences, there are also artist activities. So that will come out much later. But essentially, I think last year or this year, they had like 50 different artist activities. So the artists on the ship throw their own activities, whether it's like come play beer pong with us or poker night or like whatever it might be. You can actually like sign up. It's usually like first come, first serve, and it's limited amounts of people that can sign up for the activities. But you can go do like excursions and jet skiing and all this other stuff with like John Summit or whatever. So yeah, definitely will be signing up for some of the artist activities. And then lastly, like I mentioned with Rave Culture Cast, I'm definitely working on some stuff with the Groove Cruise team as well. Whether that's an activity or something else that we'll put together, maybe a panel or something. Definitely just going to be getting involved on board. I know it's my first Groove Cruise, so I still want to like really save time to just enjoy myself and take everything in and not work the entire time. But I will definitely be doing artist interviews on board and maybe some podcasts for you guys. So it's going to be an amazing experience. It's going to be my first event back after my maternity leave because I will be taking the rest of the year off after Project Glow. So it's just going to be like a special experience, like homecoming, all of the things for me as well. So I'm super excited about it. But as we get more information on the ship and the themes and all that fun stuff, I will have more content coming out. So if you are not already subscribed, definitely feel free to hit the subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on any future Groove Cruise videos. The ship is officially sold out as of this week, but there is an official waitlist that you guys can join. So I will leave a link down below to the website. People's plans change. Sometimes they have to back out. Rooms may become available. So definitely get on the wait list as soon as you guys can. Again, leave me your comments below. Let me know what other artists you're excited to see and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, you guys, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.